This tutorial will include the following: defining default values for new suppliers, adding a supplier, configuring a supplier for EFT payment. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are still continuing with the accounts payable module. Today, we are focusing on suppliers code conversion, and reverse charge text. So let's get started. This tutorial will include the following: defining default values for new suppliers, adding a supplier, configuring a supplier for EFT payments, converting a supplier code, adding a reverse charge text code, and lastly, adding a default reverse charge text code to a supplier.
Hi Sandra. To cut down on data capture errors, I think we should capture default values against the suppliers program. Please can you enter the following values: branch, north, invoice terms, 30 days net, bank, First United. Thanks, Pierre Dalen.
So we're going to start by going to accounts payable, and we're going to go to setup, and we're going to go to suppliers. We're just going to make the screen bigger, and we're going to come here to defaults, and we're going to click on enter default values. And we're going to then come all the way to branch, and we're going to enter the branch number, and we're going to tap off. And here on the invoice terms, you could just enter the invoice terms, or you can click the magnifying glass and select the invoice terms. In this case, it's going to be 0, and we're going to select, and we're going to tap off. And here we're going to enter now the bank, which is going to be FB. And we're going to tap off, and the currency will leave it as is. And we're going to tap off supplier class. We're then going to choose BIS per the email, and we're going to select. From here on, we're going to save the changes that we just made. And we're going to then close the program. So we're going to start by going to accounts payable, and we're going to go to setup, and we're going to go to suppliers. So I'm just going to make this bigger. And here you're going to enter the supplier code. For our example is 28, and we're going to tap off. As you can see, the information that we defined against this program is there. And we're going to make a couple of changes. But first, let's enter the supplier name. So it's bikes and accessories. And we're going to tap off. And there's certain things that we're going to make changes to. For example, the terms, we're going to change them. So we're going to go to the magnifying glass. And we're going to, this is bank, so we're going to look for the invoice terms. So we're going to click on the magnifying glass, and we're going to select the terms for this specific supplier, and we're going to select. Again, we're going to come to bank, because for the supplier, we're going to use a different bank, and we're going to click on the magnifying glass, and we're going to look for the specific bank, and it's going to be the global bank, and we're going to select. And the currency, again, we're going to come to the currency, click on the magnifying glass, and we're going to select euros for this example. Okay, and now that we're done with this information, we're going to come here on contact information, and we're going to enter a contact detail. So in this case, it's going to be Scott Davis, and we're going to tap off, and we're going to enter the telephone number 38956, and we're going to tap off, and we're going to enter the email address. So Scott Okay, Scott dot Davis BA dot ED, and now we're going to come all the way to the supplier bank details, and we're going to come here on bank branch, and we're going to then click here, and we're going to type in, or you can scroll, okay, Northern on the branch, and then we're going to tap off and enter the account number. So 786 984 896, and we are going to save. Again, do you wish to add this as a new contact? And we're going to say yes. Just going to make this bigger. Okay, there's nothing we'd like to add here, so just going to then close and save and close this program.
Dear Michael, as discussed telephonically, please can you start paying our invoices via EFT payment? Details as follows. Bank branch, West, bank account 673 589 64308. Regards, Joseph Blank.
So we're going to go to accounts payable, and we're going to go to setup, and we're going to go to suppliers. Again, I'm going to make this bigger. And here we're going to enter the supplier code, which is 13, and we're going to tap off. And we're then going to go all the way to supplier bank details, and we're going to make sure that the EFT payments required box is ticked. And then here on bank branch, we're going to then type the bank branch. Okay, and we're going to tap off. So here we're going to enter the account number. So 673589 64308, and we're going to then tap off. And here on statement reference, we're going to then type in the reference, which we're going to say EFT payment, and again we're going to then tap off. Okay, and account type, we're going to type in 1, which is the current account, and we're going to leave everything as is, and we're going to then save the changes that we just made. And we're going to close the program. So we're going to go to accounts payable, and then we're going to go to setup, and this time we're going to look for AP supplier code conversion. That's what we're going to click right there. I'm just going to make this bigger. And here under supplier, you're going to then enter the supplier code, so 90, and we're going to tap off. That's the description. And now we're going to type in the new supplier code, and we're making it 200. Then we're going to say validate, and then we're going to say start processing, and we're going to say okay, and we're going to say okay. And then we're going to close the program. So if you go to suppliers, for example, and you then type in that specific supplier code that we changed it to, and you tap off, you will see that the description for supplier 90 is the description that will now populate for supplier 200, because we have changed the supplier code. So I'm just going to close this program, and that is it. So we're going to start by going to accounts payable, and we're going to go to text this time, and we're going to go to setup, and we're going to look for text code setup, and we're just going to make this bigger. Here on text code, we're going to enter the text code we're trying to create, and we're going to tap off, and then we're going to then type in the description for this text code, reverse text. And we're going to make sure the reverse charge only box is ticked. Okay, and we're going to tap off, and we're going to then come to reverse charge current rate, and we're going to say 12. And we're now going to move all the way down to the ledger codes, and we're going to then look for reverse charge sales text ledger code right here, and we're going to enter the ledger code. So 00 244 and we're going to tap off. So we're going to say okay. And as you can see, then the ledger code description is populated on the screen. So we're going to then come to the reverse charge AP text ledger code, and we're going to put in that ledger code 2443. Okay, let me just enter it again, 00 2443, and we're going to tap off. I'm going to say okay, and again the description for this ledger code has populated on the screen, and we're now going to save this text code. And we're going to say okay, and we're going to say okay again, and there you have it, and we can close the program. So we're going to start by going to accounts payable, then we're going to go to setup, and we're going to go to suppliers. So I'm just going to make this bigger. Okay, so on supplier, we're going to enter the supplier code, and we're going to tap off. Then we're going to come all the way to general information. As you can see, there's an item there, reverse charge text code. So we're going to then click on the magnifying glass to browse for a text code. So we're going to then choose whichever one applies. For this example, we're going to choose this one that says reverse charge, and we're going to then select, and we're going to save, and we're going to then close the program. We have reached the end of today's video. Please be sure to like, comment which videos you like to see next, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our uploads. Please do connect with us on LinkedIn. Our link is in the description below. Thank you for watching.